greatest gift you can give another person is the purity of your attention. Today I'm at the land of the Medicine Buddha in Aptos, California, and this little piece that I'm filming today is about presence. The land of the Medicine Buddha is a beautiful place for retreat. Here they hold sound healings, meditations. You can stay here, you can camp here, you could just come for the day. And they have beautiful trails that have little stations, and there's something a little special at each station. So I want to take you around that little loop, and I'm going to tell you a story about Marina Abramović, who's a performance artist. And I also want to talk a little bit about Thich Nhat Hahn and share a quote from Richard Moss. Come on, let me show you around. In today's reading of the magic, which you all know that I'm doing for 28 days, the assignment is to take 100 steps and to say thank you for each step. I can't think of a better place to do that than here at the land of the Medicine Buddha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These are laurel leaves from the laurel tree. I'm going to take a couple for my mom's spaghetti sauce. Here's the start of the 8 Verses Trail. There's 8 stations along this loop, and each one represents a different stage of enlightenment. So each one of these stations for me gets progressively harder and harder. This one says, whenever I see beings who are wicked in nature and overwhelmed by violent negative actions and suffering, I shall hold such rare ones dear as if I had found a precious treasure. Gosh, I sure could get better at that. I recently heard a quote by Richard Moss that says that the greatest gift that you can give another person is the purity of your attention. And this really affected me and resonated with me. The quote reminded me of a documentary that I saw a few years ago called The Artist is Present. It's about an artist called Marina Abramović. She's a Serbian performance artist, and she had this amazing long-term love affair with a German artist called Ulay. And the two of them did these really interesting performance art pieces. I don't want to give too much away in case you want to see the documentary. But they decided to end their relationship, and the way that they did it was they each started on one side of the Great Wall of China. They did the pilgrimage and walked it until they met in the middle to say goodbye. But this documentary was really about a piece that she did, a solo work that she did years and years and years later in New York, where she just sat for 8 hours a day for 3 months. I think it totaled out to be like 750 hours. And all she did was sit at a table, and one person at a time would come in and sit across from her, and she would do nothing but just give them her undivided attention. And she wouldn't say anything, she just looked them in the eye and just paid attention to them. It's a very powerful documentary. It also made me think of Thich Nhat Hahn. One of my favorite books that he wrote is called Anger, and it's about effective communication, so this is something that's valuable for everybody. But he talked a lot about deep listening in that book, and he talked about how the purpose of deep listening is not to change the other person's mind, is not to convince them of anything, it's not to be heard or express your point of view. The sole purpose of deep listening and really, really giving that person your full attention is to alleviate their suffering. Now, on the other hand, if you want to be listened to, and you want to be listened to in order to have your suffering be alleviated, he says it helps if you use loving speech. So I really recommend the book Anger by Thich Nhat Hahn as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So my last thought about this is that as human beings, we really all just want to be seen and heard and accepted the way that we are. And it's also hard to have self-acceptance sometimes. So these are things that I'm really cultivating, self-acceptance and the acceptance of other people as the way that they are. and I really want to cultivate presence. So I'm really moved by this quote by Richard Moss. There's a few more things I want to show you before I head home. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wild blackberries. They're sweet. Oh, this place is so beautiful and peaceful, and the people are so friendly. The last thing I want to show you is the prayer wheel. Send beams from the prayer wheel to sentient beings so they receive holy compassion. I hope you enjoyed this visit to the land of the Medicine Buddha. I'd love it if you saw the artist present, Marina Abramović, and I'd love to know if you've read anything by Thich Nhat Hahn. Go ahead and let me know in the comments, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, I'd love that too. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time on Xeno Enthusiast. Oh, as I'm driving out of here, my heart feels so full and at peace. It's been a really good day.